Hey everyone, it's Eli Tokash of Take a Bow on the Broadway Podcast Network, and we are here live at the opening night of Camelot here at Lincoln Center, and we will be talking to the cast and creative team, talking to them about opening night. We're here after the show, so we're going to be talking about the show, finding out what this process has been like, to revive a show, all the things, and we're going to find out who their real-life Camelot is. So stay tuned, we've got some fun content ahead.
Hi, I'm Philippa Sue, and I play Guinevere.
And you just opened Camelot on Broadway, which is so exciting.
We did.
Talk to me about this process, because, you know, it's kind of unique in the sense of it is a revival, but it's kind of something completely new.
Yeah, it's been, it's been challenging and fun, if you can call it that. I mean, I like things that are challenging, so I think it is fun. But it's incredibly unique, and I think it comes with a great amount of care when building something that you're not only bringing back to life, but you're sort of reworking. So you want to be bold and daring, and also you want to have great care to the material that you're trying to bring back to life.
Absolutely. Well, on stage, you know, there's no more congenial spot to have a happily ever after than in Camelot. So what is your Camelot, your personal?
New York City, baby. Yeah. I love New York City.
Oh my God.
That's my Camelot. It has everything.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect place for anyone who's coming to look for their pocket in the world. And the amount of art and culture and just the different kinds of people and places that you can visit here, I'm just like, I love it. True. It's home.
I love it. Before I let you go, what are you most excited for fans to come and see, and what do you think they're going to be surprised about with this production of Camelot?
Come see this incredible cast and their performances. Come see this gorgeously designed show, and come see a story that hopefully will make you feel moved and inspired.
Oh, I love it. Congratulations. Break a leg on the rest of your run. Enjoy your night. Nice to meet you as well.
My name is B.H. Barry, and I am the fight director on the show. That means I choreograph the fight scene.
Yes. And you've had quite the prolific career here.
Somewhat.
In the stage. Yes. Doing fight directing.
60 years of it.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Do you have like one of the most challenging fights that you've had to direct or create?
They're all sort of different in their own form. I mean, I did Glory. I worked on Glory, and there's we're out all night working. That was a different experience, totally different from doing the rape scenes in Extremity.
Sure.
And doing this has been quite complex because we're on a rake stage. And we're always, not only are we on a rake stage, but it's also a thrust. And if you can imagine, when we first came out there, it was like being on a table in the middle of the Grand Canyon. Because there's all this space around us, and we're using swords, we're flying around up there. Right. And we had to overcome that moment. Yeah. So we worked out the choreography, so we zigzagged some of the movements rather than putting them straight. And it was a challenge, but like it always is, and I always maintain the bigger the problem, the better the answer. Sure.
And I'm sure it takes a village, you know, with working with Bart and working with everyone to create those scenes. Yeah. What is that process like?
Sometimes difficult, because we're all very creative and we all have ideas, and you know, sometimes I get my idea. But for 60 years I've been second unit director. So I'm kind. Well, wouldn't it be a good idea if? And there's a possibility. What do you think of? And you kind of manipulate your way in, because most directors need to be in charge. Yeah. And they should be. That's what their job is. So I have to kind of walk carefully sometimes, and you know, find my way in.
Yeah, for sure. And what about with the show, like specifically like Camelot, where it's a revival, so it's kind of had these staging before and all these things. Do you kind of grasp at those ideas?
The interesting thing with this production is that fight that I did is not there in the original.
Oh, wow.
What it is, it's a song about jousting.
Okay.
And they sing what happened in the joust. But because it was Aaron Sorkin, and he wanted to do, he put this fight in there, a sword fight in there. So what I had to do, which was very different from the normal thing, I had to because Aaron wrote a film script, basically. Yeah. And we had to put this idea into a theatrical form so that it made some sense. So it was quite a journey to try and do that. Because how I work on a fight is I take the fight away from the play, and if there's nothing missing, then the fight shouldn't be there. Right. So if you took that fight away from the play, there would be nothing really missing, except that Arthur needs to get hit in the head with a sword. Right. So, you know, but we had to kind of find a way to achieve that.
Sure.
That was good.
It's incredible, and it works perfectly every night. Very
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did it bring out the child in you?
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what it should do.
Playing in a playground.
Yes.
But usually I have like imaginary swords. So the fact that it was real.
So this is when you should have that disclaimer, don't try this at home.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much and congratulations.
Okay, thank
yeah,
you.
of course.
Nice
Nice talking.
Hi, I'm Christian Mark Gibbs, and I am in the ensemble, and I understudy Lancelot.
Yeah, so and you just opened Camelot on Broadway.
Yes.
This is insane. How'd the show go? How are we feeling? Just on a high or what?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on a high. This is my Broadway debut, so I've been on a high since the first show
my God.
that we've done. And ever since then, it's just the show's gotten better, the audiences have gotten better, and to see their anticipation of the show and see what they are receiving from it, it actually makes it even better each night to go on for this show. So, I mean, I'm on cloud 9 at all times.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this show's a revival. It's one of the most iconic shows.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe ever. I mean, literally, it's one of the. It's up there for sure. So, has that like kind of changed the process of doing a musical, being a revival, and you kind of have some sort of base, but you're also creating something new?
Yeah, there's of course with this new book, it was trying to find a way to keep the integrity of the piece, but also to kind of show what is today and how we relate to the past. As you can see throughout the book and throughout the show, you're like, oh, they are going through the same issues that we're still going through today. The same, I shouldn't say issues, I should say conversations. They're going through the same conversations that we are still having today of justice, civility, might, right, all of that, they're still having those conversations. And having a show this major and this being the first revival and this new book and the music, I mean, the music is
Iconic.
goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. In the best way possible.
It is. I mean, everyone says like, "What's your favorite one?" I was like, "It changes every night." There'll be "C'est moi," which is a beautiful song. Then you have "If Ever I Will Leave You." Then you have "Before I Gaze at You Again." I mean, the music is unbelievable here. But also, there's the "A Fire on Goodness," which is such a ruckus piece. I know, people say things about the lyrics, but it's such a nice piece to see the men's ensemble come together and sing this mighty piece, near the end. So I mean, there's so many things about this. I know this is
so
going
exciting.
long, but it's
I love it.
very exciting to be a part of this revival, and I hope that everyone gets the chance to come and see it because this is a very, very special one. And if you miss it, you'll regret it.
For sure, and I mean, it's kind of like a revised script with Aaron Sorkin's work on it, and you're working with Bart, Philippa Sue, and Taylor Trench, and all these everyone, so lovely cast. What has it been like to get to today and the rehearsal and tech process and all of that?
Oh my goodness, the rehearsal process, we are a big family, and so seeing I said the three leading, Jordan Donica, Andrew Burnup, and Philippa Sue, be so welcoming to the full cast and be amongst us and try things and risk things, and you know what I mean, and having everybody kind of a part of that. It's even seeing the choreographer jumping in, Byron Easley, and it's. I still try to put it into words that I can't really do so right now, but I do know it means so much.
For sure.
It means so much, yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Broadway debut, huge. So exciting.
Yeah.
Congrats and break a leg on the rest of your run.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
of
Thanks
course.
for being here.
Oh my God, of course. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't miss this. This is a treat. Are you kidding?
Yes, and
Thank
you
you.
lit. Keep up the good
Thank
taste.
you. I appreciate
Yeah, I
it.
love
Twin
it.
in.
It looks good.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome, man.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We're at Camelot at Lincoln Center, and I am Bartlett Shear, and I directed Camelot.
Yeah, and we just opened up Camelot. I mean,
just did.
yeah, this is so exciting. I'm sure. Congrats. What has this process been like? This is a revival. So how does that kind of change a process of opening a show that's kind of new?
It's kind of a revival, but it's also kind of new because we have a whole new book. So we built a book that's very, I think, very special and very moving.
Yeah.
And so that's powerful to me, and it's been really, really a great experience. One of my favorite experiences ever.
Really?
Yeah.
And is it because of this creative team, this cast, the fact that it is a revival but with a new twist? Is that what excites you, I guess, about it?
I'm an interpreter, right?
Yeah.
I take material that's like this weird objective reality in a text and I make sense of it. And I like pull it up and make sense of it. So I had this thing in front of me called Camelot, and we built it over 4 years. And it was always a joy to ask the question of what is Camelot now? What does it mean to us? What are we trying to do? And to build a world around it, which is very powerful. And it's been an exquisite experience.
Well, this has a kind of unique, not origin story, but the way that this whole production kind of came about as like a one-night thing turned into a new whole production. What has that process been like for you particularly, because you kind of spearheaded it?
It's been joyful and extraordinary, and every step of it has been unfolded in some new and beautiful way, and it's been really, really fun and really exquisite. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got one last question for you, and I'll let you go and enjoy your night.
Okay. This is one of your trick questions, or what?
No, this is a good question.
Okay,
this is
great.
a good question, but I need to remember it so I get it right.
Okay.
We all know that on stage, there's simply not a more congenial spot for Happily Ever After in Camelot, but what is your Camelot?
My Camelot is being in a room with a group of artists and making something very special, and toiling at the guts of the work and the asking good questions, changing stuff every day, and trying to unpack and make sense of great material. Then I feel like I'm in Camelot.
I love that. Oh my God, what a wonderful answer. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks, Bart.
Dakin Matthews, and I'm playing Merlin and Pellinor in Camelot at Lincoln Center Theater.
Yes, and you just opened Camelot
We did, yes.
here at Lincoln Center. Very exciting. Talk to me about what this process has been like. You know, it's a revival, but with a brand new book, kind of.
I think the responses have been great. The audiences have been very, they come to it knowing some of it and being surprised by some of it.
Sure.
And that's kind of the best experience you can have in theater, is when you get both the familiar and the surprise.
Right.
So that's been great.
And how has the process been like, you know, with you having sort of the revival of your character?
I mean, a lot of the people knew I never have seen Camelot. A lot of the cast knew all the songs. I didn't know any of them, but they don't let me sing anyway. But working through Aaron's new book and matching the book to the music, it's been a long and very creative process. I mean, we had like 6 weeks of rehearsal. We had a workshop before that. We had another workshop before that. We had 5 previews. Something changed every night. So it keeps you on your toes. It's exhausting, but it's exhilarating.
Yeah, that's incredible. How about, you know, in the show, there's not a better place, there's not a more congenial spot than for Happy Ever After than in Camelot. So I've got to ask, what is your Camelot?
Oh, when I'm home.
Yeah.
When I'm home. My home is in California.
Wow.
When I'm home living with my wife, my daughter, my son-in-law, and my grandchildren. That's my Camelot.
That's amazing.
My little house in North Hollywood. That's my Camelot.
There you go. Well, congratulations, and thank you so much for stopping by. Break a leg on your run.
Hi, I'm Fergie Philippe, and I play Sir Sagramore in Camelot.
And you just opened Camelot.
Yes, we sure did. Yeah.
How are we feeling? How was the audience?
All of the feelings, the audience was so electric, and they were so with us. And, you know, it's so funny because I think that, like, sometimes actors can jinx themselves. Like, well, opening night audiences are, you know, they're just excited for us. They're our friends and family. But, you know, there was such a difference. Like, I could feel the audience really listening to the story, and they were with us beginning to end. And it wasn't just, like, laugh riots of support. It was, like, truly, like, responding to the story being told. And I feel like that's all you can ask for as a performer. And so, I mean, to me, perfect opening.
So for all of you coming to see the show, make sure that you're paying attention.
Yeah.
That's basically what that PSA was.
Oh, yeah.
Well, talk to me about the show, because this show's kind of interesting in the sense that it is a revival, and it's happened before, and it's been a production many a times. But this is kind of new with the work of Aaron Sorkin. And what has it been like to, you know, kind of lean into a revival, a character that's already been played many a times, but also have this new work and new perspective of things?
I think that, you know, something I've been talking about is how, like, we have honestly had the pleasure of being able to kind of have 2 experiences where we have this revival experience of, like, bringing back a work that is very beloved and very important to many people, and in the room talking about why is it so beloved, how do we make those moments still so special for those people, but at the same time it's an adaptation, and it's like we're doing a new script, we're doing a new version of this. And so what was really exciting was to be able to take some of those nostalgic elements and be like, great, let's still bring this up, but like, now we have some new words to accompany it and to support it that are really going to make the words lift in a different way. Like, I think a great example is like, Take Me to the Fair is a really funny number, but I think we were really concerned about how is the storytelling of this number going to affect the tournament 2 scenes later. So how is it that our relationship with Guinevere is going to transfer there? And so we had a lot of discussions about the different bits that we did and the different things that we added, and that number changed a million times because of it. And I think it's a really interesting experience to kind of go through, because it really did feel like putting up a brand new show, because like, you know, we would do something one day and the next day we started over from scratch. But it was the same material that everyone's always known. But because we had these new words by the brilliant Aaron Sorkin, it was a lot of conversations about, well, now how do we use the words to influence this music that is so beloved? Like, how do we marry the two in a way that is seamless so that it doesn't seem like a 2023 book with a 1960s score?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fascinating, for sure.
Yeah.
Talk to me, because in Camelot, you know, on stage, we all know there's no more congenial spot for happily ever after than in Camelot. So what is your Camelot?
Oh my God, my Camelot's Walt Disney World. If anybody knows me, Walt Disney World is my favorite place. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Can we find it? Can we find it? Look at that.
No way.
Look at that. Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, that is my Camelot. That is where I go when I want peace. That is where I go to recharge. That is just my spot.
You are what they call a Disney adult.
I am a Disney adult. Can confirm. Yes.
Can confirm. Great. Live at the Red Carpet opening night of Camelot. Amazing. That's iconic.
Yes.
I gotta ask. This is a BPN specific show. Obviously, you host the Muppet Show on BPN.
Yes.
So, who is your dream Muppet recast of Camelot?
Oh, we actually like played this game backstage. So Kermit is Arthur, Piggy is Guinevere. I think Lancelot should be the only human in the show, and I think it should be like Chris Hemsworth or something like that. Somebody that's like absolutely going to be able to play it completely straight in a really funny way. Either that or like Brett Goldstein, like someone that's really going to be able to play it straight. And then the 3 knights are going to be like Rizzo, Gonzo, and Pepe. You got Pellinors, Fozzie. You got oh my God, I said Beaker was Lady Sybil. Lady Sybil in our cast is kind of a clueless person, so we were like, Beaker, great, we'll make it Beaker. And so yeah, I mean, the Muppets and Camelot go together like wine and cheese. Yeah.
This is so well thought out. This is like, you're not making this up.
A fun fact from the host of It's Time to Meet the Muppets, this is one of the stories that actually was considered really heavily in the 90s when they were going between Christmas Carol and Treasure Island. King Arthur was one of those stories that they really were looking at like, we might be able to make a Muppet movie out of this, but ultimately I think that the power, it was specifically with Treasure Island, it was between Treasure Island or Camelot, and they were like, well, I think the Pirates would be a little bit more fitting for Muppets right now, but hey, it's been thought of before.
Well, I think you need to create it.
Listen, Disney, give me a call, buddy.
Give him a call.
I will write you a script for the Muppets and Camelot that will tear it up.
Done.
Yes.
Producers out there, give him a call.
Give me a
This
call.
is amazing. Well, thank you so much. There's your
Thank
next
you.
project. Break a leg on the rest of your run.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you. Good
it.
to
Thank
see you,
Good
for
to
sure.
see you.
Hi everyone, I'm Marilee Talkington. I play Morgan Le Fay.
And you just opened Camelot on Broadway. Opening night was a success. Audiences loved it.
They did?
So
Great.
Yeah, no, people were walking past the lobby and they just like, everyone was talking
Oh,
about
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm so glad.
Well, this is a kind of a unique production because it is a revival, but it's kind of like a whole new show in a
Yes.
way with Aaron Sorkin's work.
Yes.
What are you most excited for audiences to come see, and what makes this production particularly unique with his work?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you
Yeah.
want to come see. So many. I mean, okay, so let's just talk about the obvious ones.
Let's do it.
The singing,
Great, duh.
incredible. Costumes,
Yeah.
acting. Okay, great. We got to cover, the fundamental stuff.
Absolutely.
In terms of the actual story, there's love, there's betrayal, there's hope, there's fighting for justice, there's failing, there's hope again. There is prophetic things that I get to say about what the future will hold, what the present is not holding right now, and this is Aaron's work. This is Aaron's work. We get to hear science in this. We get to hear play. We get to hear jokes. I mean, I feel like it covers the gamut of joy and stimulating thought. That's what I mean, you're gonna come. You're gonna laugh. You might cry. But I think you're going to be leaning in the whole time.
Yeah. You're going to get a whole day of emotions, in 2 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, 3 hours.
3 hours, of course. 2:55.
2:55.
Who's counting?
Yeah, who's counting really?
Talk to me about like how that's kind of like molded the process, you know, with all of those things that you just talked about while you're thinking of all of that, but also with this revival and kind of honoring the original work and the original songs, but also leaning into this new character kind of vibe that he's created.
I mean, he basically created a Morgan Le Fay that was never on the page, ever, which is so bold.
Yeah.
It's so bold, and I love Aaron for that.
Yeah.
I love it. He's like, if I'm going to write in Morgan Le Fay, I'm going to write a Morgan that I want, and it almost feels like you could pluck her out and put her in the West Wing.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've created something like completely new?
Oh, she is new. This is, I mean, there's never been a Morgan like this that I know of ever. So I feel like even though this is a revival, I'm originating this role.
Yeah. Oh my God. So cool.
Which is really amazing.
Yeah. For sure. And very unique. Like, does not happen.
No, I mean, this is incredible. You can't originate a role in a revival, but Aaron wrote a completely new character, so I'm originating this new character by Aaron Sorkin. Yeah.
Okay, last question, and I'll let you go and enjoy your night.
Okay.
And on stage, of course, we know that there's simply not a more congenial spot than for a happily ever after than in Camelot.
Yes.
So what is your Camelot?
I think my Camelot.
Yes, think about it. What's going on?
I've got a couple Camelots, but one of the Camelots that I love is my grandmother's house.
Oh, I love that.
Because there's flowers and fruit trees that she planted, and love and care, and it was full of artists. And that's my Camelot, is where I feel the most safe, and I also feel the most creative. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and break a leg on the rest of your run.
Thank you so much.
Of
It's
course.
nice to meet you.
My name is Anthony Michael Lopez. I play Sir Dinadan in Camelot on Broadway.
And you just opened Camelot on Broadway. I mean, come on, what a dream come true.
Oh my God, amazing! It's really like beyond my wildest dreams for sure. Yeah.
And talk to me about what it's been like to kind of just dig your teeth into this process. You know, it is a revival, but Aaron Sorkin kind of has this amazing new production and kind of vibe with and perspective on it all. What has it been like to really just attack this material?
It's really relevant to, you know, our world today. It's not some sort of dusty old piece. It's like, you know, it asks the question, you know, what kind of world do you want to live in? And what do you have to give up to live in that kind of a world? And that's a really important question that we all need to be asking ourselves right now. So yeah, it's been really incredible.
And what has the process been like, you know, since it is a revival and the character exists, but it kind of has a new whole thing about the character? And like,
well, I didn't know the original show at all before I came into this. Yeah, this sort of came out of nowhere for me. Like they just sort of, I just got an email one day a couple of years ago, and I started to do the workshops, and that was you know. So just jumping into it, I got to sort of watch these characters build, and at first they were funny guys, you know. They were sort of like comic relief, you know. They still were pushing on Arthur ideologically and everything, but they were funny. And they're still funny now, but they're much more serious. And so coming back into the rehearsal process, building these characters with Danny and Fergie, you know, our personalities, our points of view are in these characters as well. You know, we collaborated with Bart and Aaron to create these guys. So yeah.
And what about that fight scene? What is that all like?
B.H. Barry's an icon. You know, he's an absolute icon, and he was just so loving and patient and genius. I've never thought about approaching fights the way that he approaches it, and it just makes it seamless.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's amazing, yeah.
It's so realistic. It's wild.
I never thought I would be doing a sword fight on Broadway.
Right.
Insane.
I know.
But it feels right. It feels good.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. One last question for you, and then I'll let you enjoy your night.
Cool.
On stage, you know, there's no more congenial spot for a happily ever after than in Camelot. So what is your Camelot?
Man, my Camelot is Camelot.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I just feel I'm just feel so blessed to be here, so lucky to be in this show. I cry all the time. You know, it's my Broadway debut. My mom was in the audience tonight. You know, came off the stage after my first scene, and I was just like, you know, it's a dream come true.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, and break a leg on the rest of your run. Thanks for stopping by.
Hello, my name's Pippa Sue, and I played Guinevere. I look a little different out of my makeup. No, I'm Taylor Trench, and I played Mordred.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Pippa Sue.
So yeah, she's an up-and-coming actor. I'm really excited. I think some great things are in her future. We'll see.
That's amazing. Good for her. Well, good for you.
Thank you so
yes,
much.
Of course. I can't wait to see what's next for you. This is fantastic. You just opened Camelot on Broadway. You know, you're a billionth Broadway show, which is amazing. But this is a really unique show, and probably not like anything that anyone's ever done, because it is a revival, but it's kind of new.
Totally.
So what has that process been like for you?
It's been a dream. This is the first Broadway show I ever saw, was Light in the Piazza here, directed by Bart. So that alone makes this so dreamy. But then getting to collaborate with Bart and Aaron again after being in To Kill a Mockingbird I just feel the luckiest. And Aaron has rewritten this gorgeous text that I think people will be really surprised and excited by.
For sure. And, you know, with a character that's kind of already existed, but it has a different, you know, perspective and everything, the vibe, all the things. What has that been like for you? Is it kind of like looking back at the originals and kind of being like studying or whatever, or is it just no, you're attacking it new?
I had like no relationship to the previous version. I never listened to it or seen it. But from what I understand, Mordred is usually like, and in this version, he's like a true little crazy nightmare.
I love it.
So I think we're creating something new, which has been really exciting and cool.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. I've got to ask, in Camelot on stage, obviously, it's called that there's no more congenial spot for a happily ever after than in Camelot. What is your personal Camelot?
Being right here with you.
Stop it.
It's true.
That's so not true.
It's true. In this purple of health, you got me good.
No, come on. This is so good.
Oh, thanks.
No, yeah, of course. It matches with the theme.
I know, really. I know.
Yes. No, you're killing it. Are you kidding
stop.
me?
Thanks.
Oh my God. It's so good to see you. You just made my night with that
Oh my
answer.
God,
Stop
true.
it right now.
I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you
This
so
is
much.
amazing.
Thanks.
I love this show.
Thanks.
It's brilliant. It
Oh,
really
thank
is.
you.
And you're doing amazing
Oh,
work. So
thanks.
yeah, for sure.
Happy
Well,
to see you.
enjoy. Break a leg on the rest of your run and enjoy your night.
What a treat to see you.
It's good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by.
My name is Andrew Burnap, and I play King Arthur.
Yes, and killing it.
thank
no
you.
pun intended. But how are we feeling? I mean, you just opened Camelot on Broadway. It's exciting. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel unbelievably grateful and so fucking exhausted.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like a crazy person, to be honest with you.
Right.
Because I have all of these things going on inside me, yet my body is like, I want to shut down.
Right.
I want to sleep.
Well, you're gonna get your rest. You're gonna get your rest here in a second. I'll let you go shortly.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, of course. But I'm curious to talk to you about this show because it's interesting. You know, there's not many shows that do this. It's a revival, so it's already existed, but it's kind of completely new with Aaron Sorkin's work.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how that's kind of like impacted the process of making this production and doing your character development and all those things.
You know, I didn't know this musical much at all before signing on to do this.
Really?
So the first version that I really read was Aaron's.
Wow.
Which I'm grateful for. I stayed away from all previous iterations because I really just wanted to do the thing that I was hired to do.
Yeah.
But that being said, you know, everyone has a real. Not everyone, but a lot of people have a sort of real connection to Camelot. Whether it's a nostalgic connection, an emotional connection, they saw it once, or they grew up listening to it. And all of that has been sort of really amazing to learn about because it means so much to so many people. But that wasn't really part of the creative process. The creative process was very much of asking the questions of, is this the version we wanted to be doing? Are these characters the way that we're playing them, the way that we want to play them? And it was really, you know, best idea in the room wins. So it was amazing.
That's awesome. And this creative team is so awesome. So I'm sure that was just a blast. One last question, and I'll let you go. On stage, you know, there's no more congenial spots for a happily ever after.
Yeah.
So what is your Camelot, your personal Camelot?
I would say, my grandmother's house.
Really? That's actually been a really popular answer to me.
Is it really?
Yeah, we've gotten that a few times.
Oh wow.
I love that.
Yeah, my grandmother's house. Yeah, for sure.
The nostalgia of it all. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank
it was
you
so
very
nice
much.
meeting you, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
Take
course.
care.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Hi, my name is Jordan Donica, and I play Lancelot Dulac.
Yeah, and you just opened Camelot on Broadway
Yes.
here at Lincoln Center.
Yes.
What was that like? With the audience craziness, everyone loved it.
Great, another show, another learning experience.
Yeah.
A big sigh of relief to finally be open and to have the days to let it ruminate and sit and not overthink it, and then just come in and do it and see what the show becomes and what it wants to be and teaches us. Yes, exactly.
Well, this kind of production of Camelot, and honestly, like any production ever, is really unique because it's a revival, but it's also like kind of completely different.
Very, yeah.
So what has that process been like in attacking the material every day?
It's a very vulnerable thing, whenever a writer writes and shares that writing with other people. I think it's a very vulnerable, and so to be a part of that with Aaron and to see a bit of his soul and his perspective on the page has been very enlightening, and it's been fun to kind of try to step into that world and reconcile his beliefs with my own beliefs, with everybody else's own beliefs, and see what kind of thing we can come up with here. And like I said, it's a living and growing thing, and every day it changes. And so that is that's a huge blessing, but also the style that Bart has infused with this show in terms of the work that we're doing with stylistically is not one that you see in America a lot. Théâtre du Soleil over in Paris does this kind of work a lot with the cavernous open spaces, letting the bodies try to fill the space. And so that's been a fun challenge as well. Stylistically, this is a totally different thing than anything I've ever seen on Broadway, and so that's been a challenge, but I love a challenge, and I hope that we are all rising to the challenge, myself included. Yeah.
Well, on stage, we know that there's no more congenial spot for a happily ever after than in Camelot.
Yes.
So I gotta ask you, what is your personal Camelot?
To me, Camelot is an idea, much like America. It's something you have to wake up and choose to do and be a part of every day. So your congenial spot, ideally, is you and who you are and what you bring to the world around you. That, to me, is Camelot.
We just got deep here.
There's no other way to be. Life's too short.
So real, so true. I love that answer. Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Coat, too.
Oh my God, stop it.
Purple.
So
No,
sweet.
it's nice. Purple's a
Appreciate
great
it.
color.
Thank you. Oh my God, honored. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, and break a leg on the rest of your run.
What the king is doing tonight.